I can finally reveal to you my cat's dream catio, which we just finished building after 3 weeks' work. Millie and I are really excited about the end results, and I hope you like them too. It's spring here in Japan and the cherry blossoms have just started to come out, so I'm also going to revamp my garden, which has been a bit dormant lately. Now, if you remember, in a couple of videos ago, I got some timber from the hardware and I built the frame that is what is holding up the catio. So that's all complete now, and I've managed to get some netting, which is used for animals. I guess farmers use it. This is what the house looked like when I bought it. It was an abandoned Akia, a bit like a shanty town out the back, all these bits and pieces of roofing up. And look at the outside. There's no way I could have enjoyed living out here, and the garden was rack and ruin. So I have been making this into a dream space so Millie and I can enjoy the outdoors. And we're going to start with the garden because now that it's starting to warm up, I have had my garden beds all covered over with plastic because nothing grows in the winter. It's just too cold. And now it is time to plant my next garden. Now, last year I had great success with tomatoes, cucumbers, chilies, a few herbs and things like that. I want to try something a little bit different this year. And I'm going for some strawberries and cauliflower. And out the back of the property, I also have a bit of land which I'm going to use to grow some sweet corn and some sunflowers. And I'm getting some decorations for the new catio, and I heard that ferns were safe for cats, and I'm checking all the plants as I go just to make sure that they're cat safe. I get most of my supplies and equipment at the local hardware store, but I am also stopping into Daiso just to get a few decorations for the catio. And I also heard that they had some really good solar lights. I had a look online at Amazon, but the Daiso ones are a really cost-effective price. So I'm going to get a couple of solar lights while I'm here as well. Now, I work during the week as an English teacher here in Wakayama, Japan, and I'm coming up 2 years, and it's been about 1.5 years since I bought this property. And every weekend when I have a bit of time, I just like to do a little something to the house. In Australia, we call people like me weekend warriors, and we just battle on bit by bit and get stuff done. So this is what it looks like at the moment. I've got my frame up and I've been able to attach the netting to the frame, and it's pretty strong netting. It's used in Japan to keep wild animals out of properties. So nothing's really going to get through this, and it still gives me a good view of the outside. It's not blocking anything, or I don't feel like I'm in a jail or anything like that. So I'm going to start off with the seeds. That's the first priority I wanted to get done. And this is the little area I was talking about out the back. I have this little patch which I think would be perfect for some sweet corn and some sunflowers. And hopefully the sunflowers will pop up over the fence and I'll be able to see them. A neighbour that's like 2 or 3 doors down from me has amazing use of his small space, and he is growing a lot of fruit and different types of vegetables on that small plot of land. So I was sort of inspired by him to get some seedlings started and do the same. So next up I've got my hydro balls. They're sort of a pumice material. I'm giving them a very, very good wash, and then I'm putting all the seeds in for my micro greens. I've got 3 different microgreens, and then I'm going to cover it with a bit of cling wrap, and that's going to make a little greenhouse and they'll sprout. So next on to putting some of the solar lights up on this netting, and you can see the netting is mainly on the ceiling or the roof area, and I've got it down right into the garden bed. And it's buried with a couple of bricks around it, so no animals will be able to dig through, and Millie won't be able to dig through either. So I'm just clipping these little solar lights up and getting them to start their charge. And the other plants that I bought at the nursery, I want to quickly get them into the ground before I start decorating the catio. And these ones are the snow peas, and I'm going to put them up against the netting, and hopefully they'll start climbing up the netting. And the other thing I'm going to try growing this year is cauliflower. I actually grew broccoli last year, and that one was a success. So I'd like to try cauliflower this year. And the garden so far, I've had success with blueberries. My parsley managed to last all summer and all winter. And my strawberries are just coming back. I had a lot of strawberries in the garden and they've somehow survived as well. I always like to plant a few flowers as well to attract the bees. And this little garden, it's good that I've got the netting because it still will allow the bees to come in. It's not going to stop the insects, which, I mean, as much as I'd like to stop the mosquitoes, I think we still need the insects for the garden. So I haven't blocked that off entirely. And did you know I managed to find some catnip at the nursery? So I thought I'd buy that and plant it and just see if it had any effect on Millie. And look at her right next to the catnip. You can say this catnip is working. She's acting all funny. Now, I've never really liked the brick wall. It's a terrible outlook from my lounge room to look out onto this dirty, ugly brick wall. And I'd looked into some options like painting the wall, but that turns out it's not a good idea because the bricks are meant to be porous and they're supposed to breathe on both sides. So another neighbour down the road had actually put up this green screen over their wall. So I got a good idea from them and I thought that's a great idea. It's a good way to cover the wall so I don't have to look at the ugly bricks without painting it and damaging it in some way or making it less structurally safe. So now I'm going to task myself with attaching this green hedge to the wall. Now, I couldn't make this video without thanking everyone for last week and all of the lovely messages of support and comments that you left me. Thank you so much for that. I have read every single one of those comments and I'm really grateful for your messages. And although I couldn't respond to everyone, please know that I'm really thankful for your messages. Now, of course, I would love to have real plants here and not have these fake plants as decoration. And I'm sure many of you are going, why are you putting fake plants? Well, I just don't have enough garden space, if I'm honest. You know, I would like to grow some vegetables that I can eat, and it's sort of a sacrifice or a trade-off. It's one or the other. So I am going to have to use the fake plants as decoration and grow the food I want to eat in the garden bed. Now, my garage is out the front of the house, so I've opened my garage door and I'm starting to bring all of the equipment round to the back. I'm going to try my hand now at building Millie a bit of a cat wall or a way for her to climb up and look outside. So the brick wall is actually quite high and you can't see out over it. Well, I can see over it, but Millie will need a way to get up there and have a look. And at the moment, there's nothing there for her to perch on. I also couldn't reach the last bit to add in the last few solar lights. Can you hear the kerosene truck? Many of the houses in these streets have kerosene water heaters, and I do as well. And I recently filled up mine. It takes 96 litres of kerosene, so about 120 Australian dollars to fill the tank. Now, I came up with this idea. I really don't like this aluminium pole. This is the pole that holds the deck up in my office above, and it's quite an ugly pole. So I thought this might be a great little climbing pole for Millie. So I've wrapped a bit of what looks like a pool noodle around it, so it's foamy, so she's got something to cling onto. And then I've got some sort of grip, black grip stuff. I don't know what you call this stuff, but it's black grip. And I'm just cable tying this to the pole. And then I had this genius idea that I would buy some cheap twine or rope like you see in the cat poles, and I would tie it around the rope. And it started off looking great, and I was like, yeah, this will work. But it took forever. I didn't realize how slow it would be trying to get this on, and halfway through I felt like my hands were red raw. I got so many blisters doing this. On this day I only actually managed to do about 1 meter of it, and I had to stop because my hands felt like they were going to start bleeding. And I moved my attention to the shelf. So I just wanted to cover a little bit more of the brickwork before I put the shelf up above it. And I had a bit of timber actually left over from when I was building the van and the coffee table. So I just want to use, I always keep those offcuts, and I just want to use some of those offcuts. And I thought, yeah, this offcut's probably the best size for Millie to comfortably sit on the shelf. And I'm getting quite a collection of screws as well now, because all the different projects, you know, you need different size screws. It's already been so good working outside with Millie because I know she's safe and I know she can't get out while I'm working away. I don't have to have half an eye on her like I have done in the past. When I've come out the back before, I've had to put her on a lead and just watch her pretty closely. Now, I'm not too worried about getting this perfectly level. I'm just sort of looking at it with my eye because it's only Millie that's really going to be sitting on here. But I've got it pretty level to the wall anyway. And now for the big test. Will Millie feel safe up here, and will she jump up here? So I'm going to give it a little go. I might get one of her toys and see if she'll jump up straight away without hesitation. And she got down no worries either, so I'm pretty comfortable. We did it a couple of times and I'm pretty comfortable that she's going to be okay up here. The shelf feels really solid, it doesn't move whatsoever. So she's just discovered she can see outside now, so that's a good sign. She'll probably want to come up here on her own accord. I'm going to get on to doing more of the decorations now that I know Millie's happy up on the shelf. We are going to ignore the elephant in the room and that pole. I'm going to have to get back onto that. But for now, I'm just going to have a bit of fun with the decorating part of things. And just when Millie and I were in a quiet moment, we started hearing all the birds. This is exactly what I was hoping for Millie, that she'd be able to sit and look at the outside. Every time we've gone camping, she's really loved being outside, so I'm really happy to be able to give her some bird TV. Now, I got these excellent little things that go over your brick wall. I got these last year actually, and this is what I was growing all my lettuce and spinach in last year. So it was a great success and I'm going to do it again. That was a very near disaster. I'll call it a close one, but thankfully my camera is okay. Now this hose system I've got set up at home, it's awesome. So I got this sink at the hardware store, and my outside of the house used to have a washing machine outside, so I already had a drain hole ready to go. So yeah, now I've got an outdoor sink and hose. It's the next day, so I just wanted to show you how my microgreens are coming. They've just started to sprout a little bit, and that's only one day. So I'm putting them again in a warm spot. And of course, I can't forget Millie. I'm growing her some cat grass. So my idea was to grow the cat grass and have it on rotation. And I grew a lot of cat grass last year. It was so easy to grow. You don't need to do much, just give it some water every day. But I haven't been growing it over winter, and I have been cheating a little bit and buying it from the store, which I've done just now. And I'm adding some cat grass high up on her perch so she can either hide in the grass or have a munch when she feels like she needs to. I found so many cute objects and little knickknacks and decorations and things when I was at Daiso. So I had a lot of fun shopping there this week in between my work shifts. And it's been a lot of fun being able to use all the decorations just to make this place look a little bit more homely. It's hard to believe how it used to look when I first got here. It really does feel like such a long time ago when I was even laying the fake grass in this area. One of the things I have invested in the house is cameras, and I have cameras out the front of the house, down the side, and now I've just added this extra one out the back. And it's not because Japan isn't safe, but all of these cameras just give me a peace of mind. And also if Millie's out here on her own, I'll be able to see her, but my phone notifies me if a person is in shot. And it can also pick up Millie as well. So if you look at this top of the screen there, you can see it can pick up Millie walking around as well. It is motion activated, but you can log in and check your cameras anytime you want to. Now, while I'm working outside, I've got it in privacy mode, so it doesn't go off every 5 seconds. And I also ordered this awesome little bell. So when you open the door, it knocks on the fish bell and makes a little ding. So I like that as well. Well, it is just starting to get a little bit dark or late in the afternoon now. I'm excited to see how the solar lights are going to look tonight, but I have to get back to that annoying pole and the rope. I can't put it off any longer. It's an eyesore and I've got to deal with it. So I've given my hands a bit of a rest, and I probably should have used gloves. And of course Millie wants to help. I'm probably going to feel pretty frustrated if she never uses this pole after all of the effort I put into it. But anyway, it looks better than the aluminium that was originally there. I did tease her with a little toy just to see how far she'd climb, but she didn't go too far. I've also got an outside scratching pad for her. She loves these around the house. I think Millie is pretty happy with her area, and she's pretty happy to be able to run free outside and check out what's going on. It's been a massive few weeks getting this Catio up and running, and I'm really happy to have it finally complete. It's definitely time to relax, and I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's ordered my merchandise. A few people have sent in photos, which I'm excited to receive. I can't believe when I see it from concept to people actually wearing it. So cheers to you, and thanks so much for your support of the channel. For any of you wanting to learn Japanese, I'm also a qualified Japanese teacher, and I have lessons on my website www.chaneyjapan.com. I'd love it if you wanted to join and learn Japanese. Now it is just starting to get dark, and the first of the lights is starting to come on. This is a really exciting time because it's like the whole thing has come together, from concept, not knowing how to put the wall up, to the netting, to finally being able to put up the solar lights and enjoy it in its complete state. So I'd love to hear, what do you think of the Catio and the final result? Obviously it's got a little way to go with the garden. It needs to get established, but this is what it looks like so far. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments, or any tips you might have for things that I could add to the Catio to make it a little bit better for Millie. I mean, Millie is the priority here. I really want her to enjoy her life as a cat and not feel so trapped inside. I want her to enjoy the outdoors. We're not always able to go camping, and our next camping trip is in a few weeks, but for now it's nice to be able to share the outside with her. Thank you so much for coming along the journey. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate the community that we've managed to build here. Everyone is so lovely and kind and friendly to each other in the comments, and I really like that we're a bunch of like-minded people. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.